How dare you? It's Steady Eddie here. Where are we? Oh, I don't know where. I'm getting very, very forgetful. I don't know what the reason for it, but please yourself on that one. Martin Ryder, morning. Good morning. Paul HC and MC. Where is Eddie? Paul G. Eats, good morning. Roy Bart, good morning. JJ, morning. Bintman, morning, Eddie. How did the scan result go? Well, I'll put that on the screen. I haven't had it yet. I haven't had the result of the either the radiotherapy or there's not really. I've been, I've seen the doctor since that was over. But the actual MRI scan, I haven't had that until early in the week, early this week. So it's going to be a big day when I go to the hospital next. It's going to be a big day because it's the first time that I will have seen the doctor since the radiotherapy, and I see that he said that that went well, but the MRI scan took about 3 months or 4 months coming. Because they said that 3 months is the brain's swollen. So anyway, when I go to the hospital this week to see the consultant, it will be a very, very decisive day for me. So there's pessimistic, there's optimistic, and there's realistic, and I think that I'm the third one. Shane, Stuart Lennox, on call 21. Hello, Chaz Brown, Nomi Eye Inspector, John Daly, B&B. Have you booked your flight to the Line to Smiles? No, the last holiday that I had was so good that I can live off that for a while. I can live off that. I've had me fun right at the start of the year, so I haven't really booked anything. But I need to know what's happening. What condition that I'm in. East Java expat. Greetings, Eddie, from East Java, Indonesia. I haven't been there. I've been to Bali. Which I wasn't impressed with, but I haven't been in Java. That sounds like, is that a volcanic place? That sounds like one of those adventure movies that I used to watch years ago. I really liked it. That as soon as I hear that, that brings out the traveller in me. Paul G. Eats, how's the weather? Dismal. Yeah, damp and dismal. Wells 32, hello. Kieran Williams, hi Ed, hope you're doing okay. Oh, well, I'll tell you, I'll bring you the report of when I get the report from the hospital. Adam Humphreys, how are you filling your days, Ed? It's shooting bears in the Rockies. That's how I'm filling me days. I'm hooked on that. What's it called? Hunting simulator. That's really, really good. That bears, moose. Bears, they're the ones, as soon as you draw blood from them, shoot them and draw blood, they come charging at you. The other animals, they go running, but the bear runs at you. Netflix, Amazon, the usual, couple of bears in my local. Lousy Christine. Wow, she Christine. Hi, fingers crossed regarding your scan results next week. Okay. Adam Humphreys. Martin Wright, to keep you waiting is just wrong. Stupid NHS idiots. Well, the original appointment was a couple of weeks ago. Was two weeks ago. But they changed that. I could have done that. I come back from Thailand. To do that appointment, but at least they worked around my holiday in Thailand. They let me have that, before I had the MRI scan a couple of weeks ago. So the original doctor's appointment was the 4th of February. So now it's a couple of weeks later. But I really, really need to know what's going on up here. I really need to know the state, because it's been such a long time since I've had a report about the state in my brain. As I've Shadi, hello, my brother. How are you keeping? Well, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you. I'm in limbo right now, but it's nice to hear you. Daniel, Eddie, regardless of the results, head back to Thailand. No, I think like I just said a moment ago, I can live off that. That was such a good month. It was such a good 3.5 weeks that I had out there that I can live off that. I mean, I thought, for a while, I can live on a diet of fish and chips and a couple of beers a day, and Netflix, Amazon, shooting bears and moose and other animals. Bobby Webber, good afternoon, Eddie. Hope we're open for the best results. Okay, thank you. Stephen Kennedy. Robert Williamson, greetings from Canada. Best wishes and hopes for your meeting. Heading back to Cambodia and Thailand this year for good. We'll never return to Canada. Oh, well, never say never. I said never last year, but obviously, your circumstances may be different, Robert. So good luck to you. Sean the Prawn, did you get any massages on your trip to Pattaya? Yes. Pete Settling, never say never. Okay. So I just I'm pretty good with years, identified years, but I've been unsure about what year YouTube actually started. So apparently, I heard on the news yesterday, YouTube is celebrating its 20th anniversary, 20th birthday. So, I mean, one of the regrets that I have is that I didn't get in there earlier. I think I would have done much more on YouTube. But I mean, John, about 10 years ago, oh no, it was longer than that. No, it's about 15 years ago now. When YouTube was 5 years old, I mean, that's when I did my big South American, Central American, trips and all of that, and all of that made me feel that I haven't been on YouTube very, very long. Only 8 years since I started, and the first year was 1.5 years was lost because I was doing a variety of things, which but I wished I had got into YouTube earlier, and I could have done a lot more with it. But the question is, when did you first discover YouTube? When When did you first dick over YouTube? That's what I put. Oh, but I realized that, the word discover is close to, another two words. When did you discover your YouTube? Not when did you dick over YouTube? Oh, I'm pressing all kinds of bloody things here. I'll say when I first, it was when I first bought a PC. The first one that I had, which wasn't that long ago. I think that was about 17 years ago. It might have been 17 years ago. PC, they quickly went out of fashion. People wanted laptops. And when I first discovered YouTube, and a friend of mine, I bought a video camera. I can't remember what make it was, but it wasn't. It was archaic by today's standards. And I took that with me to to South America and places like that. And a friend of mine said, Ed, why don't you go on YouTube? I thought, what the hell is YouTube? And that was about 17 years ago. So I thought YouTube isn't that old. I think 20 years. It's taken over many people's lives in 20 years. Big Daddy, okay, nice to hear from you. Daniel, Eddie, would you go back to Brazil? No, because in my current state, I couldn't run from the muggers. I wouldn't go to any country where I had to, walk faster, to get away from, muggers. I mean, Brazil's not like that, but you do need, that is. South America is one continent, like a lot of places where you feel you do need to be fast on your feet in order to especially when you're walking around at night time. But Brazil is a great country, one of my favorites. It's not ideal for mobility scooters, as it call. Lao Chi Christine means teacher in Chinese. By the way, my title is Teacher Christine. I taught English in China for over 10 years. I'm now back in the UK. Been watching you for a while, Ed. Enjoy your vid. Okay, that's good. That's good. Nice to hear from you. Nom Ya Inspector. I knew about YouTube, but didn't start watching regularly until the lockdowns. Well, that's quite recently. That was only 5 years ago. So, found it a few minutes. Bottle Baby found it a few minutes ago. Minto, it seems Cambodia is very expensive in gents clubs. Well, I don't go into those. I got a PC around 95, 96. Matthew Cartwright. Okay. So, hello, Matthew. How are you? I was going to do a live stream earlier, but so many live streams about Bobby Crush. I noticed him in one of the live streams. I used to teach English in China myself, but they sacked me. They sacked me because they said I had bad spelling. Okay, love it. So the question is, I know that's a question. When did you discover YouTube? But who was the first vlogger, Thai vlogger that you watched? I mean, it was the first Thai vlogger that you used to watch on a regular basis. There's a couple of a few of them being around. Oh, there was quite a lot of them around before me, but there was one in particular who I used to watch, and he pioneered, stuff for the rest of us. So it was that. PC in '96, first email. Been watching EDDY since lockdown. Well, lockdown. That was only 5 years ago. Matthew Cartwright, Land of Smiles was my first Thai blogger. I used to watch him, Simon, and I don't actually know what happened to him. I think he come back to you at the start of the lockdown because his business there went pear shaped. And I have great sympathy for him. Because he was brave enough to start a new life. Where many just think about it. He was an actual deal, but then the lockdown came in and things went pear shaped. But I liked the Land of Smiles. I mean, I liked it. I liked his presentation. He was good to watch. I wish he'd come back. Bentman, Kevin Tyler was the first I watched. I caught on to Kevin later, but there was a vlogger around long before him who I think Kev used to watch him as well, and he might have influenced Kev and a lot of other people. Martin Ryder, Kev, Paul G. Eats, Mark Waynes. I think he's got a production company behind it. I don't know. But he's a massive YouTuber. But he's about his food. He's slick, and food's a big subject on YouTube if you do it right, and nobody does it better than Mark Waynes. Sean the Prawn, Jeff Carter, yes, yeah, that's the first one that I watched. I'd love to know when he started on YouTube, because I seem to be watching him for years before I started, and I started 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I made my first, poem video on YouTube. But I think Jeff Carter was around. He influenced people. He did influence a lot of people. He influenced me. I mean, I thought, walking around with a camera on a gimbal. I didn't actually know what a gimbal was then, but walking around talking to, his presentation was brilliant. I used to, when a new Jeff Carter video come out, I had to watch it. I still do now. Bottle Baby, I think it was you. The others all just had one theme. There's plenty of YouTubers around before me, but thanks anyway. Bobby Crush, I think it was Jeff Carter. The old guy used to say there's always an option too. I don't know who that was. "20 seconds with Rob." I used to watch him. I used to watch him. The first Thai vlogger I watched was Daniel. The first Thai vlogger I watched was Jeff Carter and Dead Farang. Well, Farang. I mean, he was brilliant. I mean, it was his voice that made it. His voice that made it, and his irreverence to everything. But he became disillusioned with YouTube. He did, and he had a big channel. He had a lot, but he had to take down a lot of his videos because they were no longer YouTube friendly. and his last couple of videos, showed his discontent with YouTube. Remember, YouTube is a family. It's not Pornhub. It's not Pornhub. It's. I mean, it's American. Sick Buffalo. Sick Buffalo. I don't actually know who that was. Jeff Carter and Kevin Tyler, along with retired Cheap Asia, yeah, they would probably. But I think the first one and the last one were around before Kevin Tyler, because Jeff Carter was. I loved him when he started. With YouTube, because I seem to be watching him for years. I thought that he was actually there right at the start, but maybe the other guy, retired Cheap Asia. I think he was around then. But on the subject of YouTube not being family friendly, it's being family friendly. That's what I meant to say. I think I'm suffering from the D word. I keep forgetting what I'm saying. Don't know if you even noticed. But what was it? What was I saying then? With YouTube being family friendly, they're very, very paranoid about things like, wet T-shirts. I've done a couple of wet T-shirts, well, 3 exactly, but one of them got taken down by YouTube because, what have they got against, the N word, the N, the Raspberry Ripple? What have they got against the Raspberry Ripple? But America's always been like that. American TV. YouTube's American, don't forget. And in the 70s, movies that American films, they used to cut them to pieces. They used to cut all the naughty bits out of it. Whereas Britain was showing full frontals in all their hairiness as far back as the early 70s. In the 70s, they were British TV was showing full frontals, when America were too afraid of showing the nipple. The Raspberry Ripple, I need to say. Hey, morning, Ed. Okay. Here we go. Here's a success story. Now, here's a success story. We all want to know how David Coleman, well, I know I was his Thai holiday, but I'm with my girl in Bangkok. Which one? 2 days and then back to cold Canada. But at least you've had a hot, sexy time here, David. I'm pleased for you. I don't think David liked it Pattaya very much, but he liked it, the islands. I think will he be back to Thailand again? David, he seems to have enjoyed it. Big Daddy. Yeah, I started watching retired JC in 2011. So that was 14 years ago. So was he around before Jeff Carter? But Jeff Carter was the first, vlogger that I used to. I seem to recall watching him. I reckon he was around. He was around. maybe 4 years before I was, um, or something like that. Martin Ryder, American in Bangkok. Okay. Percy Feld, hello, Eddie. I'm having a cold Leo in Hookup Corner. So what time is it now? What time is it now? Oh, it must be about 6:30. 6 in there. Okay. Percy Feld, 90 baht. Okay. Bobby, because Jeff used a Sony snapshot camera up until a year ago. I think in them days, I mean, all the Thai vloggers, or most of the ones, I think Jeff and Kev, they used to have the Canon G7X. Which I've still got now, but I've hardly used it because I bought it just before the lockdown. But it wasn't really used much during the lockdown. So, well, there you go. See, Ken. I used to watch it I can't even say that name. They had over 1 million subs, and the channel got taken down. Bangkok 112. He got demonetized, didn't he? And he had 1 million subs. They get complaints. They get complaints from people, and about invasion of privacy, and and like I said before, YouTube is not Pornhub. Mark Sanderson, Jeff is superb. Unless you've walked around in the heat of Thailand, talking and walking, you cannot appreciate how tough vlogging over there can be. Absolutely, and Jeff is, he proved with his last lot of videos, his last adventures in Thailand. He proved that he can still crack the jokes and be fresh and his camera work. His camera work is really good. Quinn, I've seen Jeff Carter's first Thai video 16 years ago. I just looked on his channel. Really, 16 years ago. So he was. I think he was certainly the first YouTuber that I watched, vlogger that I watched. It was 16 years ago. That's twice as long as I've been around. David Coleman knocked off 6 different girls in 25 days. Lol. Okay. Don't sugarcoat it over, David. Just say what you mean. Knocked off 6 different girls. You jammy. Martin Ryder retires something with JC and Nat. Okay. JC, there's always an option, guy. I've never heard him say. I used to watch him. He used to make serious videos, but into informative videos. Serious. About visas and affidavits and all that. I seem to recall one of his videos where he was mentioning affidavits. He mentioned that word a number of times. Big Daddy L. Rob, Def Farang was a winner. Loved his vlogs. I did as well. I did as well. Lousy Christine, bald and bankrupt. Well, he's more recent. He hasn't been around for that long. I think he had a helping hand by Harold Balder. Um, you know, but it was around for a long time. First Thai vloggers I watched were Bangkok 112, Dead Farang, and Cheap Charlie. And all three of those, fell foul of YouTube. All three of those. I watch Cheap Charlie now. He goes on. Dead Farang, the best, never before and never again. No one comes close. Okay. The Fat Gen, Retired Cheap Asia, was probably my first channel. A chap called JC. He gave it great. He gave great information. Daniel, Dead Farang is still in Thailand, living the quiet life. Okay, good luck to him. Escape to Thailand. What was that? What was that? Never heard of that one before. Percy Field, Eddie, will you be doing the banana challenge? I've already judged the banana challenge in Nick's bar. Matthew Cartwright, Bangkok 112. I nearly forgot about that guy. He was probably the first, actually. I mean, his videos were brilliant. They were brilliant. But he didn't give two hoots about being invasive, did he? You know, and you know, he didn't get too hoots about invading people's privacy. And you know, I think he divided people. I mean, but his camera work and the way and his editing and you know, the way he put things together was he was so professional. But you know, I wouldn't do that. Even I wouldn't do that. You know what he did, because it was really great to watch his videos. But it was like having a night out through YouTube. But he looks, he was, I don't know. I don't approve. I watch him, but I don't approve of what he did. Paul G. Eat, Harold Balder stared off in Thailand. Yeah, I think you're right there. Wickle there. For me, my first channels were Carter, JC, Kevin, and CC. Oh, okay. Brian McClelland, YouTube is 20 years old, 14th of February, you know, 2005. So they started on Valentine's Day. That's an easy one to remember. Mark Sanders, there's an app now called Kick, and that doesn't have any restrictions. YouTube has. So some vloggers and channels are using that as anything goes. Okay. Bobby Crush, I asked my wife for a wet t-shirt and she put the washing machine on. Oh my God. Not one of your best, Bobby. You can do better than that. David Coleman, Eddie, I will go back to Thailand 100%, but not Pattaya. Well, I think I once said that. I mean, but you know, Pattaya, like Bottle Baby said, Pitaya grows on you. I always say, I've said this many times, pitaya is like a giant Christmas pudding. It's so rich in what it has to offer, and it looks great. Um, you have good memories of the place from previous visits. You can't wait to get your teeth into it. But you eat too much of that Christmas pudding, and you get pig sick, and you don't want to see it again for a very, very long time. Well, that's pitaya for you. I mean, I wouldn't believe anyone who said that they've been to pitaya and they'll never return to the place. We all return to pitaya. As Bottle Baby says, it grows on you. John Mitch, I'm here in Pitaya, and it's unbelievable how many shirtless morons are walking about. Yeah, okay, nice to hear from you, John. It's geez, I couldn't even consider. Shirtless. You're walking about shirtless. They're walking about shirtless. I mean, I left here in the winter. I've been on holiday in Thailand, and now I've come back, and it's still the pits of winter. I think JC was the first. I would have started watching him in early 2010 after returning from my first trip to Thailand. So up to now, we've got JC and Jeff Carter. They were the first two vloggers. I don't know how I came across Jeff Carter, but he was actually that was actually the first videos that I actually sat down and watched in their entirety, and he became he became my first regular vlogger. Good morning, Gary Harmon. Good morning, 6:30 a.m. in USA state of Ohio. Always good to see you. Would you change anything about your traveling videos? Well, yeah, the thing that changed is when I started them. I would have started them earlier, a whole lot earlier. I wish that I'd got in YouTube. I mean, in the early days, after a few years, that's what I was doing. Anyway, change about my traveling videos. No, because I learned a lot from watching other people. That's what you do, whether you're writing books, or doing whatever, anything creative. You learn from what other people do. YouTube is not Pornhub, okay? Bintman, Jeff Carter's first YouTube video was 16th of October 2007. Really? Really? That far back? So YouTube, well, it wasn't actually 3 years old by then. Well, Paul G. Eat, Nick Dean hires an editor. Yeah, he's got Martin to do it. That's a teamwork working. He's doing a media company or whatever. Rod Butler, Ryan from the Naked Guru, gives a great insight into rural living in Thailand. I've watched a bit of him. He's good. Remember, I stayed. I don't know what that word is. First girl in Bangkok for a week. I did two others for a few days at a time. Now I'm back in with the girl in Bangkok. But you've got a rival. John Mitch, David Coleman is snow. It's slow. I've knocked 10 girls in my first week. Oh my god! And both of these guys are well into the 60s. They're both older than me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just saying that, but I'm just saying that I couldn't do that. I haven't got the energy. Greetings, Eddie. Getting hotter in Thailand by the day. Mark Sanderson. I used YouTube for years, but before I ever watched a vlogger. My first vlogger was a Russian guy who lived in Samui. Didn't talk to him, just walked along Chuang and Lamai. A bit boring. Then Jeff. Chiwang and Lamai. I thought they were a bit boring, but then Jeff was Jeff was he was the complete package. When I first watched him, he was doing then what he does now. That's when I first watched him, and I thought, well, I can do that. I think at least I think I can. I think I can do that. Malos, you Brits always complain about the weather in UK. Great to have a holiday in the heat of Southeast Asia. Try working on it. Martin Ryder, Cheap Kid Charlie, also known as Billy Blue Balls, currently streaming in Pattaya. Yes, he's had a rocky patch, but he's done well staying off the alcohol for 4 years. Because he was having problems with it. But on his channel, I never know whether to call him Billy or Charlie. So but I do watch him. I watch his live streams. I have to say that Charlie, as he was then, made some brilliant videos. Some of his videos, his camera work was so good that I had to watch some of them twice, even the longer. My favorite video of his was one he done on the nightlife in Hanoi. Brilliant. The fat gent. Can anyone remember the Pattaya YouTuber? He didn't show his face. An English fellow called his followers the Dank Army. Didn't seem a nice fellow. Would have driven his bike drunk, boasting about it. No, I don't remember him. Sabbatical is a good traveller. His big advantage is he speaks a lot of languages. He's in China now. Never heard of him. Daniel, Bangkok 112 is still going. He has a free channel and a members channel. Okay. Glenn Seward. Okay. All right. Thanks, Glenn. Kenny T. I'm in Pattaya. What's next bar called? He's got a number of bars in Soy 7. He's got A7 bar. He's got Zombies and Hookup Corner. Hookup Corner's good. I've done a karaoke in that one. Martin Ryder, Chuck Wild and his pool parties in the Philippines got banned on YouTube. Who else? Surprised nobody's mentioned. What's his name? Mr. Where Are You Going? Where are you going? His name's Jack. I'm surprised nobody's mentioned him. He's been going for a few years, and he does those pool parties in the Philippines. I've still got my the two that I uploaded, parts 1 and 2. They did well of those pool parties in Angeles City, but you know, my third video, I thought it was by far the best one, but that's the one that I got a warning for. About half an hour it was up, and you know, the reviews, well, brilliant, whatever, love it, but you know, YouTube stepped in after half an hour and took that video down. It was called Cheeky Girl. A cheeky girl steals the show at Scorebed. But I think that the wet t-shirt girls were a bit too wet, and cheeky girl was a bit too cheeky. I've still got that video on a hard drive somewhere, so I don't know where to upload it to. I can't risk putting that on YouTube again. David Coleman, maybe you're right about Pattaya, Eddie. I should think about it after a few weeks back in Canada. The thing about Pattaya, it's ideally located. It's that place behind me there, Hua Hin. A few people have said that's not ideally located because if you're in Hua Hin and you want to go somewhere else, I mean, where do you go? Everywhere else, it's quite far away from a lot of other places. Where Pattaya is 1.5 hours away by road from Bangkok Airport. It's the islands of Koh Samet and Koh, what is it, Koh Chang? It just you know, a few hours away. So Pattaya is. Well, I'm pretty sure, confident, David, that you'll be back in Pattaya. Paul Gamble, hi Eddie. Sorry we never met in Pattaya, but my first 3 weeks, I got a chest infection. Some kind person gave it to me on the plane over. I was rough as. I never went out. Was that your whole holiday? Was that your whole holiday? Oh my God almighty. Better luck next turn. Big Daddy, Nick has several. A7, Hedonism, Hookup Corner, Looper, Zombies, and now Booper. Absolutely. Billy Alsop. I remember Jeff Carter with Siller on Blind Date. It was hilarious. I think that was before Jeff was actually a YouTuber. Chris Card in the house. Okay. Hello, Chris. How are you? All you need is Camagra. You know, didn't that's not the Beatles song, is it? Daniel, Jeff Carter was a radio host and DJ originally. Rob Butler, never forget 25 years ago, the first time was walking up Soy 8 of an evening. Eddie, do you remember your first night out in Pattaya? That was about 25 years ago, my first night out. Soy 8, yeah, I was staying along Walking Street Way. Staying along Walking Street Way. I stayed in the Beverly Plaza, I think it was called. The Beverly Park or the Beverly Plaza Hotel, close to Walking Street. And you know, that was good. I mean, because I'd spent a few days in Bangkok and I didn't like Bangkok in my first visit. You know, but it grows on you over the years. But First night in Pattaya. Oh, beautiful. Mark Sanson, Ed, would you say there's an optimum length of a vlog? Um, yes, yeah, I would. I mean, I've noticed there's like Harold Balder. He started, doing maybe 10-minute videos, and then he got to 20 minutes, and then half an hour, and is past it. Recently he's been doing an hour or more. His videos are getting longer. Um, so I stopped watching them because that's too long for a video. But it depends on the subject matter, and it depends how good the camera work is, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, but not too long, but not too short either. Martin Ryder, CC earns 17,000 dollars a year on YouTube, includes 14. I don't know if that's accurate or not. David Coleman, Eddie, I got a back cold that lasted 3 days. A lot of people, including me. John Mitch, David Coleman teared up the aircon. Helps a lot to keep cool while knocking. Okay. John Mitch and David Coleman, a couple of golden oldies whose testosterone is far greater than mine. What happened to Richie Parkinson? Never heard of him. Good evening, Steady. I just got home from tropical paradise. Okay. Martin Ryder, CC told us recently what he earns. No secret. Well, he's a very, very good guy. CC. I like him. I watch his live streams, and I used to watch his videos. Rod Butler, Chuck from No Time to Be Sad, mentioned he briefly met you in Udon. Do you remember? He's also a friend of Nick, I believe. He mentioned your plight of being in hospital in Pattaya. Well, I remember meeting him, but briefly. What about Pattaya Slimane? I'm vaguely, can't actually remember what he does. I exactly figures enough for them to live on. Billy Alsop, I was wondering about Richie Parkinson, banging vlogs out there daily, then gone. A likable guy, rough and ready. I've never heard of these people. Anyway, YouTube. I wish that I had discovered YouTube better. It was around a few years before a friend of mine, when I bought this camcorder, and we were playing around with it. And he said to me, "Why don't you go on YouTube?" And I said, "Well, I've never heard of this thing. Never heard of this thing." But YouTube's difficult. It took me. It's not easy. I mean, it looks easy, but it's difficult, and you know, you need to do it right. But I was influenced by there were a few of them around, like Jeff Carter and a couple of the others that were around before me. So I mean, whatever my style is, you decide for yourself. But I tend to do, I've done with videos which and not typical. It's not just walking around videos, but it's all kinds of it's like the two videos that I've done in scorebirds, and the two. Okay. In the UK, hi Ed, tell us about your biggest earning video and the coin it made. I don't discuss anything like that, but it's nice to hear from you, your video, Ian. What's that? Mark Sanderson. Does your travel hat have its own box when you're in the UK? It gets put in the wardrobe. I wear it in the summer. In the summer, if you're talking about the brown leather one, Mark Sanders, a nearly beta clock Eddie. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, I think I'm really not. Geez, I'm not. I don't know. I want to get that thing out the way with, on this week. That hospital appointment. I don't know where to stand. I don't know where to stand with traveling or anything. I'm in limbo right now. So, I mean, I'm not building my hopes up. Or anything like that about the doctor. The doctor's going to say to me, "Oh, guess what? It's good news." It's not. It's not likely to be good news. I don't know. I don't want to be depressing. I'll make a depressing video when I get the results. Anyway, I'll see you soon.